Today, we're cracking open a case file from Christopher Elliott and his team at Elliott Advocacy. And let me tell you, these folks are absolute wizards when it comes to solving those consumer problems that feel completely hopeless. This story is a perfect example of how they work their magic.
This right here, this is a feeling a lot of us have had. You make a perfectly reasonable request, you explain what happened, and you just get a flat no. Carol Egan's words really nail that feeling of talking to a brick wall.
But this whole thing didn't start with frustration. Actually, it started with something really happy, a family wedding. Carol Egan was just booking a hotel room for her grandniece's special day. You know, a totally normal thing to do for a celebration.
She used a link that the wedding party sent out, saw the price on the screen, and clicked book. Simple as that.
The price that came up was $264 a night. Maybe a little steep, but she just went with it. It wasn't until she got a call from the bride's mother that she realized something was wrong. The special rate for the wedding guests, the one she was supposed to get, was only $149.
So this should be an easy fix, right? Just a quick call to the hotel to adjust the rate. Well, not quite. When Carol checked her confirmation, she saw those dreaded words, non-refundable. She'd accidentally booked at the wrong rate, and that hotel policy had her completely locked in.
Carol did exactly what you or I would do. She got on the phone, figuring that a simple explanation would sort everything out. But she was about to find out just how rigid corporate rules can be. What happened next was just the classic runaround. First, she tried the local hotel manager. He said his hands were tied because it was booked on the main website. Okay. So she called the main Hilton corporate line. They shut her down too. Their big solution? A credit for a future stay, which was totally useless to her. Every single door just kept closing. Feeling completely stuck with nowhere else to turn, Carol made a really smart move. Instead of just giving up, she reached out for some serious backup. She got in touch with Christopher Elliott's advocacy team.
So what is a consumer advocate, really? Well, think of them as a professional guide who knows all the secret passages in the corporate maze. They're experts who understand how big companies operate and how to get them to listen when the usual methods fail.
And this is the part where Carol's problem turns into a fantastic lesson for the rest of us. See, Christopher Elliott's team didn't just fix it for her. They gave her the tools to fix it herself.
The strategy they shared is incredibly effective. First step, keep your emails short and polite. No long, angry stories, just the facts. Second, say exactly what you want. No beating around the bush. In her case, I would like a full refund. And the third step, this is the game changer. Escalate. Go right over customer service's head and email the company's executives directly. Now, before we get to the end of Carol's story, Christopher Elliott offers a piece of advice that could save you from this mess altogether. The biggest lesson here is to think twice before you ever book a non-refundable rate. That tiny discount you get is almost never worth the risk of losing your entire payment if something goes wrong. Okay, so Carol took this new strategy and ran with it. She wrote that short, polite email, laid out the facts, stated that she wanted a full refund, and sent it straight to the top of Hilton's executive list. So here's the big question. She had already been told no by the manager and no by the corporate hotline. Was writing an email to the executives really going to change anything? The answer came back from a Hilton representative. The email said that while the agents were technically right to follow the rules, the company would make a one-time exception and gesture of good faith and issue a full refund. That's the power of escalation right there. And just like that, the full $264 was on its way back to her. The non-refundable trap was sprung. And it's so important to remember this wasn't just a lucky break. This fantastic result happened because of the specific, expert strategy from Christopher Elliott and his team at Elliott Advocacy. They knew precisely how to get the right person to listen.
It leaves you with a pretty interesting question, though. We all see that word non-refundable and we assume it's set in stone. But when there's a genuine, honest mistake, should that policy really be an unbreakable law? It's definitely something to think about.